Welcome to today's webinar, AI Tools and Personal Branding Made Easy. So this is going to be a 60-minute webinar, or perhaps less, perhaps a little bit more. Let's see how it goes. What I just decided to do is to actually bring this information to bigger, crowds, because I've been working and, experimenting in my own corner with quite a lot of tools and quite a lot of different things for the last 10 months, I will say. Yes, since November last year. So that's 10 months. And I thought, let me hold a webinar to actually start sharing. So this is going to be a recurring webinar. So if you have friends who are interested into this session, send them my way in the future, because I'm going to hold that every single week. So I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with Thursday. Let's see how it goes. So well, in today's really fast-paced and very digitally connected digital tools and AI specifically is really becoming a game changer. If you are a business leader, if you are a professional and business owner, type in the chat if you are a business owner, if you are an employee, or if you are a business owner. Tap in the chat so I know who we have here. And I'm going to read that in a moment. So, but just type in the chat so then I can see and I can customize also some of the examples that I'm giving you. So, we need to build authentic connection with our audience and really provide valuable insight today to really stand out. And luckily, today our agenda, this is what we're going to cover. So, we're going to cover the first thing, the AI landscape, where we come from. I'm going to share with you actually where we come from, where we are today, and where we are heading. No one knows where we are heading, but we are heading somewhere. But definitely where we come from and where we are today. And then I'm going to share with you also some real case studies, what some organizations are already using AI for. Not everything, because in 60 minutes I can't share possibly a lot of things with you, but I'm going to show you a few examples of how people are already using the AI. And also the one thing, actually, how I am using AI, some of the examples that I will share with you of how I use AI. And also the one thing that you should know, actually you should be doing to avoid being Uberized by AI. So I hope that you understand what the word Uberized means. If you don't, that means that, to avoid being made redundant. So that's that. So, and then I also have an opportunity to go further with me after this webinar, just at the end, because we only have 60 minutes. And in 60 minutes, we definitely are not going to cover everything that I've been doing for the last 10 months and even before 10 months. So, because this is like a resume of I'll say the last 30 or 40 years actually on this planet. Okay, so now this is something that I would just wanted to share with you. It's about the era that we came through as humanity. So we started with prehistoric era, which actually we didn't have much technology, but they still had a bit of a technology. Those technology was what? They were simple tools like a stone, which is, it was a tool, because with stone people used to even make fire with stone. So definitely that was a technology. And we got like wood, we have bones, because you can see on in caves, like a lot of people write, we see some carvings done with bones and with wood. So those were the technology that people had in prehistoric era. So the impact of the work, okay, so there was no limited, or very limited division of labor, because you wake up, you find a tool, and you go and write something on the wall, and that was it. So it was just based on the survival of the need to go to find some food. You just take whatever you find and just go and kill something and bring it to your family to eat. So there was no impact on job, and there was no kind of impact, or having some new jobs. Then we got to the agricultural age. And now, okay, so people started to get organized a little bit more. So with the invention of agriculture, they started to actually start to specialize a little bit. But it was again based on the land, based on what actually they needed for the agricultural purpose. And obviously, there was no job losses because there was no such job in the past. But you started to see some new job appearing, like farmers, animal breeders. Some of those jobs were starting to crop up in on the horizon. Then we got to the industrial era. So on in during the industrial era, we have steam engine, we have mechanization, we have factories, and now the impact of work, we start to see a bunch of lot of people, mass production, and urbanization. A lot of building were built, and now in terms of job, we are starting to see people who were having those who crafted the job manually before, they started to get affected by mechanization. When you have like new fridge now and or new washing machine, and then if somebody owns a place where people went to wash their hands, their clothes by hand, they start to get affected. They started to close because now people have washing machine at home. All these things that we take for granted in the past, some people's business were about giving you all those tools so that you do all those basic things. So then we start also to see quite those office workers start start to factory workers actually start to arrive. If you can see, a lot of people were working on lines, and then machine operators and all of those people actually started to get skills to operate. And then we got to information age. So when actually the appearance of computers, internet started to arrive, digitization. So the impact of the job were that we have a lot of digital data to process, a lot of communication. And then the impact of job losses, we have a lot of automation started to happening, a lot of processing, word processing, a lot of administrative tasks. So people are now starting to work much more in the office, so with machines, with computers, rather than being dirty, working with very dirty things. So you now just work with computer, doing very clean work that you used to do very manually before. So you can see a lot of office workers, programmers, data analysts, and ICT specialists started to appear. Then we have the digital age, where we have computers that are getting even smarter and faster. We have digital technology, we have a lot of mobile devices, and we started to see quite a lot of connectivity going on, a lot of e-commerce going on, a lot of remote work, even if it was less before COVID. And we started to see the impact of on traditional work, traditional businesses, retail businesses, and we the digital platform. The digital platform now started to take over as Uber and Airbnbs and Amazon all crop up on the market. In the past, if you needed a taxi, you just go and walk on the streets to take a taxi, and now you have a digital platform. So people used to have those congregation of businesses are no longer having them. Hotels who used to actually be very exclusive, they don't have that monopoly anymore, because you have Uber now. You can just go and find a taxi on Uber who come and collect you at the front of your door. So we start to see all these changes going on in the digital age, and where traditional business started to really go down, like retail, like brick and mortar businesses get bust. And we've seen the also impact during COVID time also, how people, those shops started to close, and now becoming much more we have like new job being created, web developers, digital marketing specialists, the YouTubers, the Instagrammers, and all those new kind of workers and gig workers started to appear. And you have all kind of gurus out there making million on YouTube, etc. And now we have come to the AI age. So, and in AI age, which is the artificial intelligence that is dominating now, we are seeing artificial intelligence coming into a lot of what we have, as we're going to see in a moment, across all the industry. There's artificial intelligence, and in November last year we started to experiment really, really big with AI and ChatGPT specifically, and other related generative tools, AI tools. So, and we kind of see quite a lot of impact also on work. So, automation is going on a lot, augmentation of our capability as workers, as human, and also the automation, the impact that is going to have and is having a job is that the automation of repetitive tasks is happening faster and faster. So a lot of things that could be done by human before can be done in a blink of seconds with AI. Even myself, I've experimented that. I'm going to share my own example in a moment. I used to find freelancers to do some of the things that AI is doing for me in a matter of minutes or even seconds. I used to outsource those things to some freelancers if I couldn't do that because I didn't have the time. And now, yes, we can see that. And we are seeing new kind of jobs also cropping up. Now we have AI engineers, we have data scientists, we have AI trainers and augmented workers, all of those things. So we have survived all those era, and we are now in an AI age where things seems crazy. In all those ages in the past, I'm sure we were not there, so we inherited all this era. We're not there, but I'm sure that people who were coming from the previous age to the new age were quite scared as well. So somebody who came from for example, agricultural age to industrial age, we suddenly saw those machines coming. They were pretty scared of what those machines were going to do to them. So it was like almost the end of what they knew, actually. So this is where we are also today. But at the exception that AI is now the only system that humans do not have fully complete grasp on, because with AI now, AI is starting to generate also itself, content itself, which means that in the past, you needed human to operate a machine, to operate some technology. And with AI now, it is now, a lot of experts don't know if we give the capability to AI to run itself, where we will end up too. So there is a lot of talks around how far can we go with that, and should we stop or not. So we're going to see that also in a moment. So I just wanted to give you this kind of brief overview of where we came from, so then we remember, because it's very important to understand where we all come from and where we are. So therefore, to put things into perspective and not just being scared that AI is going to take over and that's the end of us. No, we have always adapted and we will always adapt. So, but the way you need to adapt is to understand what is the tools, what is the technology out there, and how can I be smarter to use it for my own benefits. Understand that technology, first of all, and then use that for your own benefit. So I hope that that's clear. Okay, so now there is something that I also know is that as purpose driven professional or business leaders, we are really, really good at what we do. I hope so. And we pull also our souls and our heart into what we do. We try to work hard, and we all try to do so many things. And we actually do quite a lot out there, and we actually struggling that many people don't know actually what we are doing. So we are doing quite a lot of things, but you often a lot of people don't even know that we are doing or we are working that hard. So, and why also they should come to us rather than to somebody else. So we keep chasing. We keep chasing, we are in the chasing business. We keep chasing, whether it's clients, whether it's opportunity, whether it's job, and we keep chasing things every single day. Perhaps you feel that it is hard to articulate perhaps what you do in a way that is compelling to your ideal client, or you simply don't know who perhaps your ideal clients are and how to find them, or which job is it that you can find, etc., etc. So what I'm going to share with you today is what you absolutely need to do to become this 21st century leader who is fully equipped to navigate this AI age. So because in this AI age, we actually have some tools that are becoming our powerful assistants, and we can no longer remain passive spectators, right? A spectator is that somebody who just sit there and see things happening, right? We need now to become a player. A player is somebody who take control of your personal life, control of your professional life. And even if you are not your own boss, if you're an employee, you can also choose to work with certain type of companies that are absolutely aligned to who you are, what your values are. So think about that, because when you are a spectator, you are just there. You don't need anything. So things are just there. You are anonymous between all these 10,000 of people. But once you start to become a player, you are now on stage. You need to develop your key position, where you want to play. You need to be much more proactive so that you can start to attract opportunity rather than chasing them. So we need now to move from chasing opportunities to start attracting our own opportunities. So just before we start sharing how this is going to happen, let me share with you a bit about my journey and experience in building my own brand, and why I also am so passionate about helping people thrive in the digital age. So when I was younger, I wanted to become a medical doctor. So, and I wanted to be to help people, because I have my mom who was sick and I wanted to help her. And after my A level, I started my medical studies. And as I was going through my lessons, we had our anatomy lesson, our genetics lesson, all those things. One day we had this man turning up. So it was our first class in computer science. And I had no clue what computer mean up to that point. So I had no clue what that meant. So this was a futuristic looking guy who just arrived and started to tell us about computers, those machines that really, really are fast and at running things way, way faster than humans. And he was telling us how one day we'll be sitting in our room and ordering stuff that were going to appear in our room. I say, what? Is that a magic? And he was also going, that is obviously internet, and that was before internet. It was in the 90s, the beginning of the 90s. And he was saying actually also how artificial intelligence is going to process things and is going to be able to discuss like us, like any other human. I said, what? This Either this guy is telling the truth and this is where I want to be, or this guy has smoked something and is completely deluded. So I've decided that this guy was telling the truth, and I have packed as soon as my stuff from my medical studies to enroll in computer science. And this is how I actually moved from my dream to becoming a doctor to come into IT. And when I graduated from IT, I became a head of information system for one of the biggest multinationals out there, and I led a lot of IT projects. I was only 23 actually at the time, and after that, when I was leading all those things, those technical projects at the time, I wanted to broaden up my perspective and my horizons to decide, and I decided to study management and finance, because I figured out that you have more money if you study finance and management. So this is what I did, and I started when I studied finance. I moved to London after I finished my degree in finance. I moved to London to become a golden girl from Paris. I moved from Paris to London, and then and I started to work in investment banking. However, I figured out that this was not the how do you call that, the environment that I needed, that's where I thrive. So I decided to leave my job in the city of London, where I was kind of earning a nice salary, but where I had no real meaning in what I was doing. I wasn't fulfilled. I didn't make any difference. So I thought, let me go and find my dream job. But there was no such dream job available. Then I started to create my own business called Nucleus of Change. And since then, I'm still, running Nucleus of Change, which is a consultancy that is specialized in helping people and organizations to thrive in the digital age. So, and because I chose to also work with smaller business owners, I started to see the difference that I was making directly with my small business owners client. So it was quite fulfilling as a path. And when actually the problem I had at the time is that I didn't know how to find the next client. So coming from a world where I had all the resources at my fingertips to do my job, to go to a place where I have to just go and grab a single penny I could find, the idea of upscaling, how to really sell my skill came. I didn't know how to sell my skill, and I also had like a limiting belief at the time, coming from my childhood of related to selling. So, but I wanted to be successful, so I learned the tools. I learned the tools with a lot of marketing guru out there, and I started to get results. And now, where I was, I was interviewing those successful people and learned so many things about them. I've really spent like thousands and thousands of pounds and hundreds of hours to go through seminars, books, mentoring, etc. But I learned the ropes of marketing. And then I started now to have both meaning and money, and shifting also my mindset around sales. It was quite a long journey of tribulations and self discovery to get to where I am today, actually. This is why I am so passionate in empowering other purpose driven leaders, and especially women, to believe in themselves and in their value and step up confidently to share their mission with the world. So this is where I came from. So on my journey as well, I actually documented all my learnings in this book called Personal Branding in the Digital Age: How to Become a Known Expert, Thrive, and Make a Difference in a Connected World, and is available on Amazon, iTunes, Audibles. And I documented a 7-step framework called Yannick, where you can just go online and find out more about the book, because this is not the purpose of this seminar, but I'm just giving you the connections to what I am doing right now. So you can see that on my website, francinebelay.com/book, where you have the digital version, but you can also buy the paper book, etc., and get also a lot of goodies actually that come with that. Okay, so on my journey actually of sharing my gift and my message, something unexpected happened. And as I went around the world, and it was really when I realized that I was creating a movement, because my work impacted thousands of entrepreneurs and organizations through keynote speeches, workshops, mentoring, and training program. And I am on this mission now to empower other purpose driven leaders, entrepreneurs, funders, and employees actually to increase their visibility, their trust, and their profitability. And my program usually range from 1 hour to many months, and I deliver personal branding program for individuals, for teams, and employee advocacy program to help employees as well who are inside an organization to build their personal brand inside and outside the organization. So very key, I think. So this is very briefly who I am, and my name is Francine Belly, digital and change strategist. I'm bilingual, French, English, and I'm expert in personal branding, professional branding, and AI evangelist. Founder of Nucleus of Change, as I was telling you. I am mentor, international speaker, corporate trainer, and author. Also a founding member of an organization called AWEC, African Women Entrepreneurship Cooperative. And I'm also the host of the podcast called Meaningful Work, Meaningful Life Podcast. And I have 20 years experience of, as I was telling you, in IT, which is my background, then project and finance and business coaching and journalism, marketing and entrepreneurship. So, I'm coming from a very 360 degree of the world of work. So now that you know a little bit about where I'm coming from, I like to actually give you the landscape of where we are with AI today, the current landscape, actually. So, what actually we have here, you can see on the first column. I hope that you can see the all the industries on the left hand side very well. You can see AI, and you can see that all the columns are in green. That is, all of the those industry are impacted by AI right now. And as you can move, you move through the rest of the table, you can see other things. You have like generative AI, you have climate, all other technology that are available. But at least now we're going to focus on AI, and all of the almost all of the industries are impacted by this technology. So AI is really in the process of transforming our lives and industries as well. So this is why it is essential to understand how you can integrate AI into your personal and business strategy and your personal branding strategy as well, so that you avoid being disrupted, you avoid being Uberized, because when Uber started to arrive, it Uberized the taxis who actually didn't have the same capabilities. It Uberized all the other industries. So you don't want that to happen. You want to learn the right tools to get to where you want to go. So now, at the current state, we know that AI actually it takes less than a minute to an AI to create a graphic. I'm sure if you haven't started yet to experiment with some of the tools out there, it creates less than a minute to create graphic that will have taken a designer at least 300 minutes or more. But as I say, we shouldn't be afraid. You've seen where we came from this prehistorical age to now. We won't be replaced by AI as such, but many tasks that will go to AI are the most repetitive tasks, and there will be new way of new tasks that will come that hopefully will be more meaningful to us, and that will suit creativity of human best. So Now, this is an infographic that I created. I'm presenting that on two columns because if I did in one column, you read what I put. It's on my LinkedIn. So if you are not connected on my LinkedIn, on LinkedIn yet, find me there. Just my name, Francine Belli, actually. Tap that and connect on LinkedIn. So this is the breakdowns. This is the latest publication by OECD that came up 2 days ago that I read a paper and I just created a summary in terms of one graphic of infographic to summarize where we are with generative AI. There are benefits, but there are also some risks. So, what is the state right now? So, we can see that we have quite a lot of impact already, and it is predicted that AI will be generating up to 4.4 trillion per year, which is more than Japan GDP, for example. So there are a lot of benefits that we all know, that we know that, quite a lot of things that we can do with AI that is helping us. But there are also some risks. We have misinformation, disinformation, we have biases in AI as well. We have IP rights because we don't know what actually AI is creating, who it belongs to. It can go and pick somebody else's IP and create stuff, especially when it comes to pictures and images. Even like this as well. He can go and grab books. I even asked him about my book. So he went and picked stuff actually that he fed back to me. So there is like a lot of issues actually with AI, and there are obviously some mitigation measures that people are starting to think about. So then, we have the best of both worlds, but still at the moment we have a lot of biases and a lot of discrimination because for us, any kind of tools, especially computing tools, there is a word in computing saying garbage in, garbage out. What you put inside a system is what you get out as well. So if the people who are training the data that AI is using right now come with a certain lens of the way they are thinking, this is how it's going to go out as well. So there are a lot of biases because it's only a certain type of people that are creating most of it are male white who are creating AI. So we need to have, this is where we need to have much more diversity of people, encouraging a lot of diverse people to get involved, to create, to bring their own perspective. So then we don't have that much bias and discrimination, because we don't want to get to the place where the richer get richer and the poorer get poorer, because with all the promise of these digital tools and the evolution is that the human need to get actually liberated for mundane tasks to live fulfilling lives. But it turned out that the same kind of old inequality keep repeating themselves, because it's the same old people that are creating those new tools. So this is why we need to get as much diversity as possible in AI. So I'll leave you again to go on LinkedIn to download this infographic if you are following me. If you're not following me, it's my name, Francine Belli, and at the end I'm going to share with you also a QR code that you can actually scan and connect with me straight away. Okay, now this is also like a range of tools, generative AI tools that is available now. There are quite a lot of tools already that are on the market that are doing all kind of things. So we have platforms, which is the OpenAI dominating a little bit by OpenAI, but we also have Bing GPT, we have all the others. And we have like a lot of creativity, some creativity group. We have synthetic data generation. We have like so much vector search and curation. We have code generation and documentation. We have customer support app. We have general writing and content writing. We have marketing and sales copy. We have text and data summarization. We have quite a lot of tools out there already. So, if you are looking for any kind of tools, chances are there is one already that has been developed. And we have the list is continuing here. We have all kind of image editing tools. We can see in green here all the green things are image editing tools. We have ML Opus, we have audio editing, text to speech, we have music generation, summarization and insight, we have avatars, we have video. We have quite a lot of tools. So those tools, are available there to help us do things very, very fast. Some of them are free, other are paid a little bit. But again, the more you learn about AI, the more you will understand which one you can use so that you can do your thing faster. But I'm going to share with you a few that you can actually use. You don't need to have to know how to learn all those tools. You need only to know what are your needs and which tools will actually fulfill your needs, will give you the answer that you want. Okay, so I have created a very, very clear categories for you to think out when it comes to the AI landscape. See all those tools out there, thousands of them or 10,000 of them. But briefly, you can think of them like in 8 kind of categories. One is content creation and optimization. Another one is data analysis and insights. Then we have personalization and segmentation. We have chatbot and virtual assistant. We have predictive analytics. We then have advertising and ad optimization. We have voice search and virtual assistant. We have sentiment analysis and social listening. And these are some of the biggest category out there. I'm going to share with you some of the example of how some companies are using AI now or have used AI to in one of those categories. So the first one is Coca-Cola, actually, Open AI campaign. So this is an ad that Coca-Cola actually is this is in these categories around content creation and optimization. So Coca-Cola actually asked their fan to create their own digital artwork based on their own branded asset that they have. They partnered with ChatGPT 4 and DALL-E to actually create this kind of platform called Create Real Magic. So artists were allowed to download and submit their creation, and the best results appear on digital billboards in Times Square and in Piccadilly Circus here in London. So they actually, the aim is to leverage OpenAI as a technology in marketing function, for example, to reimagine how they can produce creative content and increase actually their engagement. So you can see how a campaign like that, asking your fans, your customers to submit their best artwork, how is going to create that engagement and that buzz. And the company is also looking actually to leverage AI also beyond marketing and looking at actually how they can use that for customer service and ordering to actually create the collaboration between them and their fans. So it's a very, very new way to actually get your customers involved and understand their needs, what people are looking for, how they are engaged, create this excitement and also this sense of community, actually. And obviously, all these things is going to bring Coca-Cola a lot more sales and loyalty from their fans. So this is one of the example of how AI is being used to actually boost somebody's business. So another example I will share is Netflix. So I suppose you all have a Netflix account or you know about Netflix. So Netflix is a use AI has been using AI for quite a long time for segmentation and personalization. You've surely, like me, seen that some of your favorite shows, sometimes that you go and see your show, you see a different thumbnail. So they are kind of experimenting also because they've noticed that some people like some thumbnail better than other thumbnails. So obviously, what they do with their AI is they want you to obviously stay on their platform and just binge watch actually their films. So what they do is that thumbnail personalization, so you actually receive many of them and they kind of test at the same time which one works best, which one is much more visually appealing. They from the same show they can create, I don't know how many they create, but they can create 5 or 10 different thumbnails, and depending on each person as well. So the thing with AI is that the thumbnail that you are seeing is not the thumbnail that I see actually. So they actually, based on the data they have from their customer, they know which one perhaps will appeal to you and which one won't. So they do that with thumbnail optimization. They also do optimal streaming because they have 220 million subscribers. So obviously they have to make sure that the platform is available for all of those things if we all decide to go and watch a film at the same time. So again, the AI help them to monitor and optimize the quality of the film, even during busy time actually, and because they can pull where they put their video asset actually for subscribers that are closer to those the location where people are. So then people don't try to access US server if you're in Europe, or Europe servers if you're US. So they kind of optimize that as well. And the third thing that Netflix does with AI is that obviously it tailor movie recommendation. You can see on your feed that he recommends some things to you. The recommendation that he gives you is not going to be the recommendation he gives me, based obviously on our watching history and the fact that it knows that you are in this location, so therefore this is going to appeal to you better than that. So, and also based on your watching habits. So this is Netflix and how they actually are doing it. So there is also Lufthansa, which is airline. So again, airline has partnered with Watson AI, which is the IBM AI, with one of their ads called "Say Yes to the World." And what they did, it was to have these interactive ads that allow consumers to engage with Lufthansa for, first of all, general inquiry, airlines, and access travel content to actually some European destination. So there was also this destination feature where users could have all kind of location information, about any location. You can interact and find some tips, some videos, and some options, and all those things. But what also that did to Lufthansa is that for each person that interacted, what actually you browse, what you like, it's they collected this information for potential insight, so they can guide later their own business and their marketing strategy. So what AI do is that it can really personalize things to many people at the same time, based on how they are browsing, how they are actually interacting with the platform. So that's the one. And then I think the last one is on Sephora. Sephora is a beauty brand. The way that Sephora actually is using or has used some of AI is a chatbot. So they decided that they wanted to engage with teenagers. So therefore, they went onto a platform where teenagers go, and they created a bot there. They added is on Kick. Actually, the platform is called Kick. Is in Canada. They created a chatbot there, and when you enter a product that you are looking for in the chatbot, the chat will actually instantly share the reviews and the rating of that product. So obviously, you can decide based on what you see what you want to test or not. So users will be really able to get those product review and recommendation very immediately, and they can also obviously click to buy on the app. Obviously what the consumers, the teenagers, they really find it very useful because teenagers love chatting rather than going and browsing in the store. But actually they can also see like tutorials online, and they found that Sephora found that customers started to use really really well this Kick app and sending tons of message every single day. Okay, so that actually informed them of what people were searching, so that they can actually make some decision in real time. So these are very 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 brief overview, and there are tons of other examples in all kind of industries on how you can use really AI, not just to generate content, but actually to use that in business to automate business as well. So now let's look at how I am using also AI to save time and cost, because I'm going to share with you. I shared with you earlier that I have this podcast called Meaningful Work, Meaningful Life podcast that I started back in 2017, I think, or 18, 17 or 18, I think it was. And this is the 105th episodes that I am on now. So this is the 104 episode. For the first 103 episodes, I didn't use AI at all because, I didn't have those tools available. But since this new season, the season 9 that I'm in, guess what? I'm using AI to save me days and days of work. I used to interview people. Then once the interview is finished, I will go and transcribe that or send it to, as I was telling you, to a freelance to transcribe that if I wasn't didn't have the time to transcribe myself. Just or use some of those author, or the AI tools that actually sometimes transcribe it, but sometimes it's terrible. The automatic transcription is very terrible. So I will use that. I will try to make sense of the transcription to create my show notes based on that. So now what I do is to use this tool called Note GPT. Is actually a um, Chrome extension. Is an AI Chrome extension that actually I use on YouTube to create automatically the transcript of my video. And not only that, you can see here, that's the transcript. After I create the transcript, automatically, this gives me a summary. You can see here the overview of the summary, what this episode is all about. You can see the highlight, and it gives you some kind of nice bullet points. So you can actually customize that. This is the back end of the Node GPT, the instruction I gave. You can tweak that to suit what exactly you wanted to do. So here you can see the customized prompt that I gave for the summary. For that is that I put, your output should use the following template. Overview, you can put highlight, and then put me again some quotes, some useful quotes that I can quote. And I just want also some bullet points. The instruction is say, use the text above, the title and the transcript that has been provided to create a very detailed summary and provide 10 main key points using concise bullet points. add the best 10 quotes from the talk. Do not paraphrase. And I go even more to tell him what's, or I don't know, I always say GPT is him or her, and tell him that a good quote is one that is emotional, is short, is poignant, and thought provoking, not just factual. So that's not a quote. So, and then add the timestamp from the transcript for each code, because I want to double check, because you can't trust AI 100% to come up with the right thing. So you definitely need to double check, especially when it comes to code. As a former journalist or as a trained journalist, I know that a code has to be accurate. So you need to double check the code. He can paraphrase the rest of the text, but when it comes to a quote needs to be accurate. So I say add the timestamp, so then I can go and check the code. So the code. So this is what it does. So you can see that in less than I don't know, 5 minutes, I have my show notes ready. When it will have taken me, at least for each episode in the past, I'm not lying, but it can take like half. It can take 4 days to do this. 4 days, 4 hours, even more to do this, right? So it saved me tons of time. And then obviously, if I couldn't do that myself, I'll send it to somebody on Fiverr or on another platform to give me the full transcript and the show notes. You can see how I save now time and I save money just with this small little tool. So the second thing that I want to share with you is how I also use Midjourney. Midjourney is also a tool, an AI tool that generates images. So here is an image that are generated based on this prompt. So I ask Midjourney to give me the future of personal branding in AI age, and I say that I want a realistic and highly detailed award-winning photography. Because depending on the prompt that you put in Midjourney, if the more accurate you are and detailed you are, the better it is. So I say, give me a well lit with a real professional Black woman represented at the forefront. So you have to be very specific in the way that you are asking the prompt, so that you get that. So obviously, it gave me 4 different options. So then I pick one, and I use that into this. I put that in Canva, and I use that to create my artwork for the Canva. So I'm sure that in the future I can even connect Midjourney to Canva. I think that there may be already something to just tell him that just connected both and use that for creating that artwork for my social media. So you can see how this has been very, very quick. Otherwise, you go and you find some images, you spend some time, you look on different platform, and this is really, really time saving actually. And this is, again, that one is in DALL-E. I've used DALL-E to create a logo. I needed a new logo for my list. Every year, I created the top 20 inspirational African diaspora professional women in the diaspora during International Women's Day, to actually celebrate women from the diaspora. So underneath, you see the prompt that I put into DALL-E. I say, create a palm of a Black woman holding a 3D map of Africa map and show her hands nicely manicured, right? And then after I gave me something and I actually tweak that a bit, I say, create a background color with black and gold. So I added a little bit more instruction later on. So, and then you can see at the bottom right here, how I use that to create my artwork. That was the official design for the list that I created this year in March. So you can see how actually those tools really, really save me time and save me money in the blink of seconds. So, and here is also something that I'm experimenting. I haven't tested that yet in real life, but at least in less than 1 hour, I went from an idea that I wanted to generate to a fully fledged pitch deck. Something that will have taken me, I did this in the past with different business ideas. It will take you weeks and months to come up with this that I did with ChatGPT in less than 1 hour, and the result that I've got. So the first thing I say is that, okay, this is what I wanted to do. You are a successful social entrepreneurs who knows a lot about creating shared prosperity. Help me to create ideas of a village in Africa where I can help people to create prosperity enabled by digital technology and AI. Something that is big and will make a difference, but I can start seeing tangible results in a year. So, I had just this thought. So he gave me some results. So I went on to ask him, combine, he gave me, I think, 15 ideas. I say, combine idea 6 and idea 13 to create a new idea and give me a detailed outline about how to execute this. An example. So he gave me something. I'm going to show you later the result of the whole conversation that I had with ChatGPT. Now I ask, okay, how do I monetize this? And he gave me quite a lot of answers. And then I say, okay, based on this, create a detailed launch plan and the business model canvas from Alexander Oswalder, those 9 blocks, business model generation. So, and he gave me that. And then I say, okay, now create a pitch deck for that digital community for investor to sell this idea against some funding to build it. Roughly estimate how much I will need, include why I started this project and my vision. So here is, based on this whole conversation that I had with ChatGPT in less than an hour, the end result that I've got to create my slide deck and go and test that in real life to see and tweak it, obviously. So, I have 16 slides. First, the title, Transforming Community Digitally. Second, the problem statement, the vision, the solution, etc., etc. The market opportunity, the monetization strategy, how I'm going to make money, obviously, the funding requirement that I need, the use, how I'm going to use the fund, the revenue projection that I'm going to have, the team that is going to help me, the social impact of that, and the competitive advantage of this business, the milestone and timeline, and the call to action, and my contact information, and obviously open for a Q&A. Can you see how in not even an hour I was able to create a business proposal from just an idea? And this is a sound idea that can go and test out there. So just wanted to share this with you. So briefly, what actually ChatGPT can help you do is those kind of 4 different things: to use it for ideation, to brainstorm title, ideas, come up with niches, and optimize also some already existing content like SEO optimization using keyword search, backlink analysis, create content around some niche topics. Obviously, content generation, where you can use it to create blog posts, social media captions, business plan, pitches, etc., email marketing campaign, copywriting, all kind of things. And then you have also personalization, where it obviously can adapt tones and writing style. When I use usually to share also like chat engineering, prompt engineering, but I haven't got that here because that's not the purpose to show you the prompt engineering right now, but it's to give you an overview of the tools that are available that you can use to get yourself very, very quick. So, and then adapt the tone and multi-language, tailor content for different audience, etc. But there is a big challenge, which is much more the problem of trust at the moment. There is trust based before even AI was here. You can see deep fake. You get some videos on your WhatsApp. Sometimes you think that's reality, but this is fake fake videos. You have lack of transparencies, how people are using AI in their companies perhaps, and even sometimes how even chatbots are answering the telephone, but nobody know that is AI that is responding. And also the bias and the discrimination. There's a big challenge in terms of in terms of trust. So we need then to really step up on these societal issues. And as business or business owners or even employee, we need to take care to inspire our client with this new sense of possibility. And this is why actually the fastest ways to do this is by creating a really trusted brand to do this. And to become a visible leader, you just need to build this brand and make sure that your brand is trusted. And for that, we're going to share in a moment what actually that look like. So this personal branding is actually a AI future proof, because you have your authenticity, and the authenticity convey your values, your experience, and your belief. With that, you're going to build trust and genuine human connection. You have to use storytelling and narrative, and your personal branding will involve doing those, sharing your journey, your experience, and your aspiration. A bot cannot build, cannot beat you. And also generate empathy and emotional intelligence with your audience. I know that now some bots, some AI can generate empathy, but building that trusted relationship with your audience, trust me, is going to build much better empathy than the bot. And obviously, it allows you to be quite creative and adaptable, being able to adapt to all kind of very changing situation. A human can do that much better than especially if you have built your personal brand, you can change things quite very quickly. And then obviously, build credibility, because as you go with your audience, it involves being really consistent, honest, and transparent what you are sharing. So personal branding can definitely, we know that before, be also an economic tool, because you are paid better than people. You are found by people who need your service and expertise, and you are a credible source. You also attract more opportunities and achieve your brands faster and better. You are trusted because, when people meet you, they know who you are. You are the go to person in your niche as well, and you can command premium pricing. And it allows you to reduce marketing costs and increase brand loyalty as well. So, and the product and service can be copied, but brand cannot be replicated by the competition. So, this is the one thing, though. The one thing successful professional and executive and entrepreneur have in common is they build a personal brand that they leverage so to build their business. When you see here, you can see Richard Branson, you can see that his own personal brand versus Virgin is way beyond. He has 4.8 million follower when Virgin only has 250 to 40. Tony Elumelu, the same. He got 1.2 million followers himself, only 61 for his company. You have Bonang Mateba from South Africa. She has 5 million followers, and her business brand, only 94,000. So Richard Branson got 20 more followers than Virgin. Tony Elumelu, 20 times more than his group. And Bonang Mateba, 53 times more than her business group. Because why? Why the personal brand attract more followers than commercial brand? Because people buy from people. So what if you too, you could build a personal brand that is going to be trusted, be generating all this kind of goodwill with the customers. So this is what personal branding does, and it is not served promotion, like people love to say. It is not bragging. It is not being someone you are not. It is not being vain. It is not posting selfie or social media. It is a process. It is a process of communicating who you are, your vision, what you stand for, and why people should care. And allow to say that it is a very strategic way of positioning yourself to attract who you want to work with in order to achieve your goals and impact others. And it actually has three phases: to identify, articulate, and communicate, not the other way around. Because usually people do the other way around. They communicate and then they say, "Ooh, what do I have to say again?" And they try to find, etc. No, in the program that I always run, I always tell people, first of all, let's identify who you are, what you want to do. Then let's articulate that before we start to communicate it. And this is the 7 steps that actually we go through, as I was telling you. So, the 7 step is part of the whole program that I run. And it's really like what you can learn more if you want to grab the book to look at that. But you can also obviously, work with me to do this. So the recap for today, that I'd like to leave you with, is that we've seen the AI landscape and how we've adapted already up to now, and what actually the landscape is all about, how we can take advantage of some of those tools, some case studies of how people are using these tools or have used those, and how I am using also those AI tools to save time and money. And also the one thing that you should be doing to avoid being Uberized by AI, which is to build your personal branding, because as a human, you cannot be Uberized by a robot. And this is, yes, the personal branding as AI proof for you. And also, it is an economic tool, because as you build your personal branding, you get economic benefit for that as well. And then I have also a special offer for the attendees for today. I has told you that if you wanted to go further, I have something special for you. So this is a very special offer. So you can book right now a 90-minute personal branding and AI coaching session with me. And for 175, normally is 375. If you go on my website and you look, and this is 375 that I usually do. But I would like to bring this to many, many, many more people. That is the mission that I've got. Between now and the end of the year, I would like to get this message to the maximum of people. That's why I'm just offering these very minimal cost to just work with me. You can go and scan this QR code or go to this link bit.ly that is showing here on screen. And when you go, add the coupon code FBGPT, because if you keep it like that, you're going to pay the 375. If you want to have this special price, you just put that coupon code FBGPT, and that will be it for you. So I hope that you really, really enjoyed this session and this brief session in 60 minutes. There's not much, we can't do too many things, but I wanted you to give quite a lot of ideas of how you can really think about AI actually. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to see the chat in a moment. I'm going to stop sharing the screen and look at the chat to see if you have put some questions and answer those actually. So thank you very much for being here today. I really, really hope that you had a blast, and then you had some food for thought. Tap in the chat also your key takeaway. I love seeing the key takeaway, what people take away with, and just let me know what is your key takeaway for today. And connect with me again on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my main channel. Scan the QR code also to connect with me. And yes, I'll see you in a moment. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Bill. You. So thank you so much. So connect with me obviously on LinkedIn. So and to take it from there. Thank you. Bye. If you have any question, also you can connect with me on LinkedIn to ask that. Bye bye.